The MacBook Air M4 is genuinely one of the most beautiful laptops you can buy in 2025. Apple sent over this 15-inch model in sky blue, and I've been testing it alongside the other M4 Macs in my workflow. You know what's been fascinating about this entire experience is that for the past several months, I've been running my entire YouTube channel off various M4-based Macs. So that'd be the Mac Mini, the MacBook Pro, and now this MacBook Air. And I've discovered something that honestly surprised me, that this so-called entry-level laptop being so capable that it's making me seriously question whether most people actually need to spend the extra money on a Pro model. The M4 chip has completely changed what we should expect from Apple's most affordable MacBooks, and to find out if this is right for you, I'm gonna be answering 3 questions. What's it like to use the M4 Air day to day, and can it handle serious workloads? Which size and configuration should you choose if you wanna buy this laptop? And who should buy this computer instead of the M4 MacBook Pro? So, what's it like to actually use the M4 MacBook Air on a day-to-day basis? And more importantly, can this fanless design actually handle demanding work? Let's start with the design and build. In typical Apple fashion, the build quality is exceptional. You got brushed aluminum, perfect hinge resistance, and it's impressively thin when it's closed. The sky blue color is subtle. In some lighting it shows hints of blue, and in others it looks a little bit more like silver gray. The 15-inch model I've been testing is also incredibly light for its size, which means you get the benefit of a larger screen without feeling like you're just carrying a brick around. If you spend most of your time working without an external monitor, this extra screen real estate does make a pretty big difference. Display quality is also exactly what you'd expect from a modern MacBook, so you're gonna get the Liquid Retina panel that delivers 1 billion colors, sharp text, and excellent contrast, and it also maxes out at around 500 nits of brightness, which is good enough for most indoor environments, though I would say in direct sunlight, it's gonna be challenging. I wouldn't use this computer outdoors. One thing to note is that the Air is still using a 60 Hertz panel rather than 120 Hertz ProMotion that you'd find in the Pro models. And honestly, while I always prefer higher refresh rates, 60 Hertz hasn't detracted that much from my experience. I think you can still get by with it on the Air, but obviously I would prefer the other way. Battery life is also genuinely impressive. Apple claims up to 18 hours, and in real world use, this is absolutely a 2-day laptop depending on your workload. For connectivity, you get 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, a headphone jack, and MagSafe for charging. The laptop also includes Wi-Fi 6E, which has been noticeably faster and more reliable in my testing. Before we keep going, I want to thank Anker for partnering with me on this video and sending over their Anker MagGo wireless charging station. If you're deep in the Apple ecosystem, this 3-in-1 foldable charger is a game changer. It's ultra compact, about the size of a computer mouse, but unfolds to wirelessly charge your iPhone, Apple Watch, and AirPods all at once without cluttering your desk or nightstand. What I love most though is how fast this thing is. It delivers full 15-watt MagSafe charging, just like Apple's official charger, so you can go from 10 to 30% in just 15 minutes. That's twice as fast as standard 7.5-watt wireless chargers, and it's officially certified for Apple Watch fast charging, so if you ever forget to charge overnight like I do, a quick 30-minute boost gets you nearly 50% battery life. It's also perfect for travel. The sleek foldable design makes it super easy to toss in a bag, and it keeps all of your devices charged without needing multiple cables. So if you're looking for a reliable, compact charging setup that works seamlessly with your Apple devices, the Anker MagGo 3-in-1 is definitely worth checking out. Click the link below if you want to pick up one today. Now let's talk about performance. Here's what's gonna surprise a lot of people. Like I said in the beginning, I've been running my entire YouTube channel off M4-based computers for months now, so I have a lot of experience with M4. I've used the Mac Mini, MacBook Pro, and now this MacBook Air, and they've all been perfectly capable. I'm coming from an M3 Max machine with significantly more GPU and CPU cores, and honestly, I wasn't sure if the base M4 chip could handle what I was used to doing on a computer, but with a little bit of patience, these M4 machines manage professional video editing, photo editing, and obviously breeze through do everyday tasks as well. To put this into perspective, like if you're upgrading from an M1 MacBook Air, which is a really good computer in its own right in 2025, you're looking at up to twice the performance increase. I actually still have that computer with me on hand, and the day-to-day performance difference is pretty substantial, even with basic browsing and office tasks. So Apple isn't lying about the performance jump between the M series generations. But what about people who have Intel Macs still? Apple claims up to 23 times better performance, which I believe to be true. So if you are an Intel MacBook Air owner, like this is an absolute no-brainer. This is a really good time to upgrade. But what about people who have the M2 or the M3? Like, I would probably say it's good to hold off for now unless you need more RAM or storage, or you're experiencing limitations with your current machine that the M4 chip would solve. There is one important limitation though to be aware of, and that is the thermal design of this computer. The MacBook Air has a fanless design, as we all know, which really means two things. First, it's completely silent all the time, which is awesome. But second, for extended intensive tasks, physics is eventually going to catch up to us. With no fans to dissipate the heat that is being generated by the chip, the M4 chip is going to thermally throttle during prolonged, demanding workloads. For short bursts of intensive work, the M4 is going to be fine, but the second you start doing like constant heavy lifting over a few hours, you are going to see slowdowns compared to a fan-cooled Mac with the same chip. Now, like, would I run my YouTube channel exclusively off a MacBook Air if this was all I could afford? Absolutely. I actually did that, and I lived by those words years ago with the M1 MacBook Air at the time. Apple's base M chips just get the job done. They are incredible. You just need a little bit of patience sometimes when it comes to intensive work, but I do believe it is so comparable for a lot of people if this is all you can afford. Okay, so if you are in the bandwagon of wanting to buy this computer, which size should you get and how should you configure it? If you're deciding between the 13 and 15-inch models, here's my take. Get the 15-inch if your MacBook is your primary screen and you rarely use an external monitor. The extra screen real estate is genuinely useful, and the weight difference isn't that dramatic. Go for the 13-inch if you frequently work in tight spaces like airplanes or small cafe tables, or if you primarily use your laptop docked with a monitor. You're going to appreciate the smaller footprint that it takes on your desk and slightly better portability in smaller spaces. For configurations though, here's my advice. First, don't bother upgrading from the 8-core GPU to the 10-core GPU option. That $150 upgrade rarely delivers enough real-world performance differences to justify the cost for most users. If you need more GPU power, going up in the chip family, so that would be the M4 Pro, M4 Max, or M3 Ultra, that's where you're going to see the performance gains that you're looking for. So instead, I would focus your budget on RAM first, then storage. First of all, get as much RAM as you can afford. Like, there's no wrong answer here. So if 16 gigs is your limit for what you can afford, that is gonna work perfectly fine for you. But if you can swing for 24 or 32, I would strongly recommend it. Like, just please believe me when I say it. Extra RAM will extend the useful life of your MacBook significantly. For storage, I'm comfortable with 256 gigs of SSD because I regularly use external drives and cloud storage. If you hate dongles and external drives, get at least 512, or if you have the money, 1 to 2 terabytes is not gonna be a bad idea. But definitely spend the small extra amount to get the 70-watt power adapter upgrade for fast charging if you don't already own a fast charger. It is 100% worth it. It's gonna be a lifesaver when you need to juice up your laptop from 0 to 50% or 100% as fast as possible. Okay, so now for the ultimate question that a lot of people ask. Who should buy the M4 MacBook Air instead of spending more money on a MacBook Pro? Because you can get the same M4 chip in either model. I actually have both. I've been using them for a long time. So here's my take. Buy the MacBook Air if portability is your top priority, since the thinness of it actually does make a difference over the MacBook Pro, which really isn't that thick to begin with. And also if you value complete silence, because there's no fan noise on the MacBook Air, it's a fanless design. Not that the MacBook Pro, again, has a loud fan, but you're gonna get 100% silence all the time with the MacBook Air. The caveat with that though is that that might play into performance. So I would only consider the MacBook Air if you're doing intensive workloads that are more intermittent and not over long stretches of time, because at that point, if you're trying to crank power through it for hours, you're going to experience thermal throttling, like I said, and a MacBook Pro would be better in that scenario. And when it comes to the actual work that you do, if you're doing like casual creative work, casual coding, like casual general productivity, or just any kind of work where you're not earning money, like this would be a really good computer for that. But also if you do earn money and you just want the best value computer possible, the MacBook Air is going to be that for you. It is just incredible value versus the MacBook Pro. But it doesn't mean the MacBook Pro is a waste of money. So let me tell you why I would consider the MacBook Pro instead. It's great for people who regularly push your computer for hours with intensive tasks because you have that built-in fan, which does make a difference. It's also great for people who need the absolute best display, especially for the exclusive nano texture upgrade for glare reduction, which I find to be awesome. I love it on my M4 MacBook Pro, and I wish that was an option on the MacBook Air. It's also great for people who want a higher refresh rate, so you're going to be getting 120 Hz ProMotion, which is just beautiful. It's amazing. I wish Apple had high refresh rate displays on all of their devices, but you can only get it on the Pro models as of 2025. A worthwhile upgrade if you care about that stuff. It's also great for people who just want more ports as well, because you are getting an HDMI port, an SD card reader, and an extra Thunderbolt port, which honestly makes a huge difference and might be the difference of you having to carry a dongle with you or not if you're somebody that does work with SD cards, for example. Okay, so overall, if I had to sum up the M4 MacBook Air with just one word, it would be balance. It's the perfect balance of performance, portability, and price that most people are looking for in a laptop in 2025. In terms of raw value, it is arguably the best computer you can buy right now. I've probably said that so many times in this video, but it is true. It is not the fastest Mac you can buy. There are way better Macs out there, but it does excel exactly on what it's designed to be, which is thin, light, powerful enough, long lasting, and obviously it's very beautiful to look at. If I had like one complaint about the computer, it would be that I wish Apple would just add another USB-C port on the right side. Like, it doesn't even need to be Thunderbolt. Like, just having the ability to charge from either side would be really nice, but that's a minor issue when you look at the bigger picture. Like, I'm just reaching here. After weeks with this laptop, I can't help but give it a perfect score. So if you guys are interested in buying this and you have the money, you need to upgrade your computer, you're not gonna regret it. Like, you don't need to hear this from me, but you are watching this from me. Like, go buy it. You're gonna love this MacBook Air. Like, it is awesome. I'm gonna have a ton of fun continuing to use it beyond this video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment a blue heart if you made it to the very end of the video. Subscribe if you're brand new to my channel. We are on our way to 70,000 subscribers. So that is amazing. I'm so excited to hit that number, and I'll talk to all of you guys in the next one. Peace.